What is good? We're here with the offseason video. So we won the Super Bowl. AFC brings it home in the Pro Bowl. Just showing the sim of it. Vince Young 9 of 14. Looks like Tyrone Calico showed up in the Pro Bowl. That's what's up. So we made a little bit over $60 million this year. That's solid. Joe Gibbs is retiring. Okay. Monty Kiffin is retiring. Lane Kiffin's father. And then Gary Kubiak is retiring from the Texans. Art Shell's retiring from the Raiders. Dallas coach, I believe, is Bill Parcells in this. He's retiring. So looking at some contract negotiations, Michael Bully reaching out, Dre Bly reaching out, Rennick reaching out. So to be honest, we have a lot of decisions to make this offseason. I mean, I believe half our team, their contracts are up. So we have a lot of decisions to make about trying to keep this team together and, start building for the future, developing for the future. So here are the retired players. Will Shields is done. So is Rivera. That's two big linemen from the Colts. Jake Delhomme retiring. He was with the Texans the past couple years, so they'll be needing a new quarterback. Jake Plummer's done. Beasley hanging it up. Donald Driver, Hines Ward, Marty Booker. He was a Pro Bowler in his last year. Wow, nice. Peter Warrick and Brandon Stokely. We got him a ring before he retired, so there we go. Yeah, like I said, losing two of their starting offensive linemen, the Colts, that's going to be tough. Michael Strahan calling it a career. Philip Daniels. Big Pat Williams. Leroy Glover. Zach Thomas. Mike Vrabel calling it a career too. He was with the Cowboys to wrap up his year. Mike McKenzie. Patrick Surtain. Samari Roll. Brian Kelly. Charles Woodson. R.W. McQuarters. Darren Sharper. Just stay out of trouble in this alternate reality. Darren Sharper, don't break the law. Don't misbehave. So, yeah, interesting. And Craig Hendricks calling it a career. He finished out with the Bills. So, Reddick and Romberg, we're not going to re-sign. Eugene Amano, man, he starts at center 1 year. Now, all of a sudden, he's big money. He's going to hold out. I think that he keeping the line together will be good. So we'll give him that money. But look at all of these free agents, like 20-something free agents. It's like half our team, bro. I'm telling you. So Vince Young only has 1 year left on his deal. We're going to give him a big extension. He's earned it. 2-time MVP. Pac-Man Jones, he's been balling. $10 million a year. He earned it. He's been an all-pro. Chris Hope, he earned it. It's crazy. These contracts are so small compared to the ones nowadays. It's like chump change compared to the ones nowadays. We do give Eugene Amano his money. Champ Bailey, we pick him up. He's a Pro Bowler. So let's bring him back on another 1 year. Keep giving him 1 years and revisit every year. So we'll bring him back on an $8 million contract. Actually, I take that back, $9 million. I couldn't remember how much I gave him, but he was a Pro Bowler, all-pro, so, he earned it. So 8.5, actually. Whatever. It's okay. Howery gets a deal. He gets his contract extension. So we have him and Kyle Vandenbosch, the pair up. Sean Taylor, we're going to bring back, give him a big contract. He earned his second contract for sure. 5 years, $20 million. So, yeah, just trying to keep this team together to build a dynasty. And we have the cap space to do it with extending Vince Young and giving a bunch of guys mega deals. It's going to come back to get us, though, I think, in a couple of years. But by then, we can do a salary dump if we have to, because we'll be developing some young guys. Doomerville, let's get the depth. 5'11", almost 260 pounds, and he was a beast edge rusher in his day, Elvis Doomerville. So it goes to tell you, this whole height thing and size thing and prototype thing really doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you can play, you can play. DeQuell Jackson, we'll keep him. I mean, he doesn't have a huge overall, but it's not like we have to spend a lot of money to have somebody behind Atkinson. Atkinson's young. DeQuell Jackson's relatively young. So, yeah, you see what I'm trying to do. So, just going in and resigning some guys. Try to keep a majority of the team. We're going to let a handful of guys walk for sure. So, kind of looking at who's left. And we had some decisions to make with running back. I feel like Chris Brown, he earned it. He's 30 years old, so we're not going to give him a big contract. But we'll give him a 2-year. And if it doesn't work out, then, hey, we eat it. But I think that he earned it with the way he played the back half of this year. And we'll up his money just because, why not? Fans love him. See Breezy. So Ben Troop coming off a career year. We got to keep him around, I think. I don't trust who's going to be on the market anyway, so we'll keep Ben Troop around. And so with running back, I end up making the decision with Lendale White to bring him back as well. It's just with these running backs, I really haven't seen one of them that's a clear favorite. And Chris Brown turning 30, I just don't know how many more years we're going to get out of him. And if he's even going to be the same, because, it likes to knock the speed off when these players regress once they get to 30, especially at running back. So we're going to keep these guys around. Stewart and Roos are going to be our tackles. So we'll keep him. But, yeah, so basically the RB by committee thing is fine with me. And if the plan is for Carter to emerge finally, and that'll be his job. But as of now, he hasn't quite done that yet. So we're trying to get him there. He's just not there yet. So that'll be the plan. So everybody that is unsigned other than Bobby Wade and Donnie Nicky, we're going to let walk. And Bobby Wade, we're going to keep for now because I'm trying to figure out what we're doing wide receiver room-wise. We're going to go with what we got. But, yeah, Wilson, Thornton, Olsen. We're going to let those guys walk. Waddell, too. And, yeah, I already spoiled we were keeping him. So, we're trying to figure it out. At running back, so give those three another chance at RB by committee. And so out of all those guys, we're letting 5 of them go. So we're going to end up getting some depth at line, get Brandon Moore. We're going to give up a second and a seventh. So I see Sean Merriman's available, and we have to replace David Thornton. So even though he's a better fit in a 3-4, if we can still send him off the edge and he can drop into coverage, I would love to bring him in. So we're going to throw him a bag. We're going to throw Sean Merriman a bag. I'm looking at guards. Kynan Forney and Chris Snee were my top two because I wanted somebody better than Olsen. So we throw Chris Snee a bag and we get him. I'm looking at receivers. But then I see this trade. We're going to get Andrew Whitworth in a fifth and send Frazier a third and a fourth to the Bengals. And then David Givens, he's out there. So I see a funny thing to do. We can do the funniest thing ever. We're going to submit him an offer, $5.1 million. We might be overpaying for a 31-year-old that hasn't been crazy. And we get him. That's crazy. Talk about a fleece. And look, Tom Brady goes to the Colts. Peyton Manning's going to the Packers. So a shakeup right there. Rex Grossman going to the Patriots. So quarterback shakeup in the league. But yeah, the David Givens thing, we traded him to the Cardinals and got a second-round pick, which is going to be an early second-round pick because the Cardinals weren't that good. And then David Givens comes running back to us when his contract ends in the free agency. That's crazy. So we get a second-round pick and get the player back for next year. And I will say there is going to be a equal and opposite reaction to that signing. One of our receivers is going to go because we got too many cooks in the kitchen, and we have some guys that can play. And we have to do right, in my opinion, by all of our guys, because I feel like if we have 4 receivers that are playmakers and then that have solidified themselves as playmakers, they all deserve the play. So if we have 5, 6 playmakers that are like consistent playmakers, that is, it makes no sense to hold on to all of them. I'll take my chances that most of our guys stay healthy. So we're going to do right by our receivers, and one of them will be getting traded. So obviously not David Givens and not Drew Bennett. One of the other receivers will be traded. So you'll see eventually as we're continuing to go through free agency. I'll let this roll, and then I'll hop back in. And here it is. Bobby Wade is going to go, and he's going to get an opportunity to shine because he's the next best receiver after Darrell Jackson. So if we're doing right by Bobby Wade, we're going to send him to the 49ers. I think he progressed and he showed he can play. And then we're sending Andrew Walter and some picks to flip that pick. So Bobby Wade, the pick we get for Bobby Wade gets flipped to a third rounder. And so just out here scouting some offensive linemen. I see a guy with the last name Jenkins. So we'll be looking at a bunch of these offensive linemen, trying to get our guys for the future. Because we did draft a guy at one point who almost beat out Stewart, but I wanted Roos and Stewart to be our offensive line. So, and we ended up trading him Cotton. He almost beat out Stewart. So I think if we can get a backup left tackle in case something happens to Roos and then start getting the guards. I mean, we got younger with Chris Dielman and Chris Snee. 2 guys named Chris, and it's spelled differently, each of their names. So I think we can get some depth on the line. We can be ready to go. And so pick one, round one, pick 32. I'm looking at our guys that we scouted, and they're all second-round grades. But I think we're going to have to take a guy now because we don't know who is or isn't going to be there. That's the one thing with drafting is you see guys reach is because they don't know if the guy's going to be there. So this guy from Eastern Washington, that left tackle, he's a beast, but he might not be playing for years because we have Michael Roos. So I think just in case it doesn't work out with Amano, we can develop Peter behind him so we get a backup center that we can develop. And then we're picking again. This is the pick we got for David Givens. And we're going to go with Antoine, I believe, right here. So David Givens got traded for Antoine, and we have David Givens on the roster right now. That's hilarious. So there you go. That trade is completed. And then here is the pick that we ended up using the Bobby Wade exchange to flip into. So we flipped Bobby Wade's return for that guy. And then right here, simulate the rest of the draft. That was an accident. I don't know what I was doing. But we end up getting this guy Hilton, this rookie cornerback. And I like him, man. He actually, once we sign him, you'll see his attributes. But this Hilton guy, I think, was a good pick. The Jensen pick, I didn't want another receiver. I felt like we were fine in that room. So Jensen will probably be getting moved to a team that wants to work with him. Like, why'd you draft him? Again, I simulated the draft. I didn't draft him. The stupid computer did. That's my fault for accidentally pressing simulate the rest of the draft. I don't know what I was thinking. So, my bad on that, guys. But it's all good in the hood. We got our guys. Antoine and Peter are going to be the line of our future if we even get there. But hypothetically speaking, they are. Woods, he's going to take over when Keith Bullock is done, and he went to Virginia Tech. Shout out, my man. So you see the bias there. It's all good in the hood, though. I mean, 6'4", 203 is not bad, but we've got plenty of receivers. That's the problem. I mean, how's this guy going to play when we have 6 receivers better than him on a team or something like that? So we'll sign him and then just trade him. And Hilton will keep and develop. You know, we could always use the defensive back depth. So, yeah. And then I said this before, Chad Jackson's still sitting out there. We're going to bring him in, and he will play for us. I mean, I don't know how much, but he's going to play because I think this guy can help us win football games. And he's sitting out there. It's crazy to me. He's been a thorn in our side with the Patriots all these years, so let's get him. And I'm going to let the rest of these signings show and maybe a couple more trades. That's going to be your offseason video. Comment what you think, what you like. I think that this team is going to be a juggernaut again next year and is going to compete for a Super Bowl. Biased opinion, but that's what I think. So, yeah, and I think it's kind of cool that we were able to kind of see our trades and what our return value ended up turning into or flipped into. So, make note of that as well. And I'll try to do a better job keeping track of when we make trades, what the trade ends up becoming. Like, we get this pick and get this guy and blah, 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 and maybe reference it in videos in the future. But, yeah, that's all I got. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm out.